All right, this is the review for Business Math, Chapters 6, 7, and 8. Just so you know that there is math on the test. Obviously, every question will be a math question. You will need your calculators to successfully navigate this test. There are a total of 16 questions. Just be aware of that. 16 questions, okay? And we are going to do, I'm going to give you an example of each type of question. I'm going to do a question that is very similar to the question you will encounter next time on the test. Fair enough? All right. So let's see. Let me just pose a question to you. Let's say that 70% of all people that go to Disneyland live in California. And last week, 40,000 people attended Disneyland. How many of those people came from outside of California?
So we need to find 70% of the 40,000.
Here are the numbers. 40,000 people went to Disneyland last week. 70% are from California, which means how many do not come from California? 30%, that's correct. So the question is, how many did not come from California? So how do we solve for this?
Take 70% of 40,000.
So that's all we do, guys. We take 40,000 times 0.3, which is 30%, 0.3. And that would work out to be 12,000. The answer to the question would be 12,000 people came from outside of California. Okay? Now they could ask, how many people came from California? Well, then it would be 28,000, 70%. Pretty straightforward, right? Remember, when you read these questions, you have to really decide what answer are they looking for. Okay? All right. Let's see.
Wait, were they asking how many people did not, or how many did come from
Oh,
California?
it doesn't matter. On the test, there's a question similar to this. They'll ask one or the other. They'll say how many did not come from, how many came from, or something like that. But this is how you solve it. You can solve it any way. All right, let's take a somebody. Here's another question. You're working, and you make $38,000 a year. You just had your annual review with your boss. And your boss decides to give you a $2,300 raise. $2,300. What percent raise does that equal? Now, what I'm asking you is how to set it up. How do you do that? First of all, what are we solving for? Rate. What is the equation? The equation for rate is portion over base equals rate.
So 23 over 38.
That's all we have to do, guys. $2,300 over $38,000 will give us the rate of the increase. What does that work out to be? Or somebody with a calculator? Tobin?
0.07368.
All right, 0.07368.
I got 0.0605.
What?
0.0605.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Everybody got that?
and then a 2 after.
Well, it doesn't matter because we're going to turn that into a percentage. So it's a 6.05% increase. That would be the answer. Now that's to the nearest hundredth, which the test will tell you. Nearest tenth, nearest hundredth. If it was the 10th, what would it be?
1.
No, 6.1% would be the answer. Give us the nearest tenth.
Because 5, it goes
Because
up.
5 or more goes up. 4 or less goes down. Okay?
It goes down or it stays the same?
Well, would you just take it off? It would be, if it was 6.04, then it would just be 6%, would be the answer, or 6.0% to the nearest tenth. Okay? All right. You go to the store and you are buying a, let's say a hair dryer. And the hair dryer is normally $68.25. But now it's on sale for $39.95. What is the percent decrease? All right. What do we do? What's the first step?
Are we looking for rate?
We are looking for a rate. Thank you, Brandon. He's absolutely right. One of these numbers will not be used.
Well, the base is 68.5.
The base is 68, but this is not going to be used, this number. So we have to we subtract this from this, so that's 30 cents, and what is that, 5, 2, and then, is it 29.30?
28.
28, yeah, figures. All right, 28.30, that is the discount, that is the reduction, that is the portion. So we take 28.30 over 68.25, and that tells us the discount rate. Does that make sense? Sorry. What does that work out to be, calculators?
0.4146.
0.4146. If we round that to the nearest tenth, 41.5%. If it's to the nearest hundredth, it would be 41.46%, right? Everybody got it?
It's technically 0.7.
Well, I'm sorry?
If you round up after the last number, the 6 will be a 7.
Is this some big number? Like
It's,
se-
it's 41465 to.
Okay, all right, you're right, you're absolutely right. Okay, questions about that? All right, how about this one? A car. The price of a car goes from $18,500 up to $20,300. It goes up in price, not down. What numbers did I say?
18,500.
18,500
And 20,300.
to 20,300. That's where it goes. All right. What percent increase does that represent? Percent increase. How do we do it? This is the same basic question as the last one, except this is an increasing amount rather than a decreasing. It's done the same way. The first thing we have to solve for is what is the difference? What is the portion?
Should I leave my keys in here?
Your what?
My keys?
I did not see keys.
Okay.
No, sorry.
You're fine.
Right, how much is that?
1,800.
How much? $1,800 increase. That's the portion. What's the base? 18,500. We're asking what increase, what's the percentage increase based on the original price? So what is $1,800 on an $18,500 price? It's almost exactly, it's just under 10%, isn't it? It's what is it, 0.09 something?
0.0973.
7.2?
7.3.
Okay, so we round this to we go over 9.73%. Everybody with that? What's tricky about this? Well, it's not tricky, but the tricky part might be that you have to figure out the actual increase. It's the $1,800 that we're going to use. We can't use these two. If we're solving for rate, we've got to find the portion. Now, they might tell you the portion. They might say the price was raised $1,800 and the new price is $20,300. Then you've got to figure out the base. Don't use the 20,000. Any questions about those? Pretty straightforward, right? Okay, good. Chain discount. I know most of you love chain discounts.
Do,
Let's say you're buying anybody pick a product. Give me a product.
hair shampoo,
TV.
an iPod.
A what?
An iPod.
An iPod, okay. Let's take an iPod. If you're going to take an iPod, the retail price of the iPod is $185. We are a store in Utah County, and we enjoy a chain discount of $862. That's our chain discount. That's how much of a discount we get. What is our net price? Now, they can ask us a number of different questions, right? They could ask us the net price, or what is the discount? We can change. How do we do this? Everybody remember? We take 1, that represents $185. Take away 08, we take 1, take away 06, take 1, take away 02. 94, 92, 98. And then we blend those numbers together.
0.847504.
I'm sorry?
0.847504.
Thank you. And that is what we call the net price equivalent. Right? And in order to find out what we actually pay for it as a store, we take $185 times 0.847504. Now, just so you know, generally speaking, we don't round this number. Don't round it. We do it exact, and then we come up with the answer. What does this work out to be? Hello, Ryan.
156.
I can't hear. What? Say again?
156.78824.
156. Got to round this one to the nearest penny, always. 79. Okay. If it's a dollar amount, you always round it to the nearest penny, unless they say round it to the nearest dollar, which they might on a large item. Okay. This is our, what do we call this? We call that our net price. Now, obviously, if the question asks you, what is the discount? You just subtract this from the 185 and you'll come up with the discount, right? I'll collect that in a second. Okay? We're reviewing for the next test right now. Yes?
What's that wrong number? Is that the net price equivalent?
This is the net price equivalent. That is correct. Okay. Dumb question. Too easy. I'm not even going to talk about it. Ah, this is an interesting question. Lehigh Bakery, use them as an example. Last year, Lehigh Bakery had sales. Well, how does this question go? Yeah, okay. They had sales of $312,000 last year. Obviously, I'm just making this up. I don't know how much Lehigh Bakery sells. But this is for 2010. This is how much. But last year, in 2011, they actually enjoyed a 28% increase in sales. How much did they sell in last year? What's the best way to do this?
So don't we times that by 62?
This is really a simple one if you think about it. Yes, Gentry?
Don't you times it by 1.28?
Yes, exactly right. the easiest way, one-step process, 312 by 1.28, we give you the answer. 1 represents 100% of this, the old sales. The 0.28 represents the increase. So when you multiply that out, it works out to be what?
399,360.
399,360?
Yep.
All right, almost right on at $400,000. That's the easiest way to do it. Now, if you multiply it by 0.28 and then add it back to the 312, you'll get the same answer. That just takes 2 steps. But this is the easiest way. Okay? Oh. You are working as a carpet salesman. And your commission is 7% of whatever you sell. Okay? You're talking about a 7% commission. And last week you earned $680. How much did you sell? What was the total value of the carpeting you sold? Now, simple question, sounds really easy. In order to get the answer, you've got to set it up right. What's the setup? What are we solving for?
Base.
Base.
What's the thing for base, isn't it?
The portion times
times.
No? It's portion divided by rate. So,
So the rate is 7% and the portion is 680?
yes, the portion is 680 divided by 0.07. 0.07 represents, $680 represents 7%. And the question is, how much is 100%? This is the answer. So what does that work out to be?
9714.28.
9714.1? 28. 29. So, last week you sold $9,714 worth of carpeting. The problem with these questions, and I'm not kidding, I'm not underestimating these. They seem easy, they make you feel dumb if you don't know how to do them, but they're not easy. Because without setting it up right, you will get it wrong. There is one other way to do this, by the way. You can divide this by 7 and then multiply it by 100. You can do that too. And if you do that, if you divide by 7, you'll get $97. The problem with it is that you won't get it really accurate if you do that because of rounding mistakes. This is the correct way to do it. Okay? Questions about that? All right. Let's move on. All right. I'm selling a crock pot. I own Crock Pots R Us. Our crock pots are for crackpots or something, I don't know, whatever. All right. How would you like to have a crock pot store? That's even hard to say. But my crock pot cost me $47. And I want to mark it up 85% based on the selling price. An 85% markup on the selling price. How do I decide how much to sell it for? What's the setup?
S equals $47 plus 0.85 times selling price.
So I think you just said it right. Is that right?
Yes.
Would everybody agree? That is correct because the equation we use is selling price equal cost plus markup. The markup is 85% of S. I should probably put that in parentheses. I don't know if I need to or not. Probably not, huh? If it was selling, I remember there are two ways to mark things up, based on selling price or based on cost. If I was going to mark it up 85% of cost, then I would just multiply 85.85 by 47 and find it out. How does this work out to be? How do you? What's the next thing I do?
Minus the 85 from
Okay. So what? 0.15s equals 47. Is that right?
yeah.
Wait, how did you get that?
Well,
Oh, because it's 1s.
Yeah. This is 1s, right? So, tell me.
Okay.
Come on.
So we subtract the 0.85s from the 1s to get 0.15s.
Yeah, 0.15.
So 0.15s equals 47. What does s equal?
S is equal to 313.33.
How much?
Like,
Well, what's the next step in this equation?
5.15 by 47. Divide 47 by 0.15.
Is that right? Divide. And so what's the answer? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
313.33.
Is that right then?
No, it's 3 because you round down.
It's 3 point.
It's 3 repeating.
Oh, I got you. Okay. $31. Okay, the selling price this is the.
It needs to be 313.
313.33.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. Whoops. Wow. Okay. Any questions about that one?
oh, I didn't.
What about, let's do it a little different. Let's say that we have the crock pot. I'm making up a different one now, a better one. The crock pot we sell for $97. We are trying to figure out our cost. We don't know the cost, but the markup is 0.60% of 97. We mark up things 60% based on our selling price. What is the cost? How does this work? So again, we subtract 0.6 from both sides. No. What does this work out to be? 58.20? $58. So $97 minus $58.20.
38.80.
$38.80 is the cost. All right. Good. You can do that? Oh boy. 3 questions, all having to do with cash discounts. Remember cash discounts? Some of your most enjoyable ones. All right. A couple of the questions have a trade discount and a cash discount. So I'm going to do one big example which is going to help you do all of these, okay? Let's say we have a product. Let's say we're buying guitars. Let's play guitar with guitars. We're going to buy some guitars. We're bringing in 6 different guitars for a price of $3,200. That's the retail price. Our chain discount is $811.1. Nah, forget it. Let's, yeah, okay, that's fine. We're going to, then we get a cash discount if we want to pay the bill early. We get a cash discount of $310 net 30 FOB. Okay? Should I make it more complicated?
Yes. Yes.
The freight
Oh, no, no.
equals $150 for these guitars. The day we bought them was June the 1st. The day we received them is July 10th. We paid the bill on July 18th. Is that enough?
Too much.
I don't think so.
Okay, here we go. Let's do this. What's the first step?
Oh my gosh.
First step is to calculate what our price is. This is how much we're gonna sell them for. What's our price? One. What is the net price equivalent? Come on, calculator people. Kate, come on.
.810612.
0.810612?
Yeah.
All right. So we are going, the retail price is $3,200. We are going to pay 0.810612 for a total price of $2,400 what? What is it?
$25.93.
$25.93?
96.
96, thanks. Okay, that is called the net price. Now, so far so good, right? This is, what is this called that we've just calculated? This is called the trade discount. Trade discount. Now we go now we sit there and we want to decide whether or not we should pay early to get the cash discount. Totally separate issue. All of this stuff, what does this mean? We ordered on June the 1st. The guitars actually showed up on July the 10th. We decided to go ahead and pay them on July the 18th. Do we get the discount?
Yes.
Why? Good, because of FOB, we don't start, the clock doesn't tick until we get possession of the guitars. The day they arrive is when the clock starts ticking. We have 10 days to pay the bill and take a 3% discount. We paid it in 8 days, so we do get the discount. Okay? So now the question becomes, how much do we have to pay them? Okay? So, oh, the one thing I didn't tell you is that the $3,200 I kind of screwed this up, but the $3,200, let's say, includes $150 in freight. We're going to have to do that, okay? So what we do is we take the $25.93.96 minus the $150 freight. That comes out to $24.43.96. Then we take a 3% discount because we get 3% on the amount of the guitars. What does that work out to be? That's about a $75 discount. So it's 23, what is it? I see a lot of people, yes.
Wouldn't we minus 150 from the $3,200 because you can't discount the freight?
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the part I kind of screwed up. I didn't say that very well.
Are we timesing .03?
Yes, we are. So,
73.32.
what?
Wait. 73.32.
Just say,
2370.64.
What?
You times by the .9.
all right, here's the way it would, in a real question, it would say this. The price of the guitars is $3,200 plus you'll have to pay $150 in shipping. That's what we should have said. I should have said that. So what I should have said is plus 150,
That's what I did.
right? And then I would have figured this would have been a little bit different. Yeah, you're right. So I'm kind of screwing it up. Is this right or wrong?
For that, it's wrong, but the answer is right.
Yeah, times by the .97 instead of .03.
And then you get that.
That's what you get.
Where'd you get .97? Yeah.
Right there, the .03, change that to a .97 and then that's
So
it.
you don't have to do subtraction.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
I don't.
Good. All right. So we are going to pay, then we're going to add back in the freight, right? Got to add back in the freight. 25, 26, 40. I kind of screwed that up a little bit for you. But you see the methodology. You subtract the freight, and then you have to add it back in after you've calculated the discount. That's the key.
You have the wrong answer.
It doesn't matter.
Why would you do .97?
Well, if you're taking a 3% discount, you're gonna pay 97% of the price.
But if you times 2443 96 by 0.97, it's 2370.6.
Okay, all right. The numbers could be wrong here, but the methodology is correct.
Okay.
What?
So, at the beginning, you're supposed to take the 150 and subtract the 3200, and then,
We should probably do another column.
so,
So
are you supposed to subtract the freight at the beginning or add? If they include, if it's included in the price.
All right.
No problem.
All right, here's the way it works. The $150 freight part of the question actually doesn't come into play very much in this. It comes into play when you calculate this over here. So when we're calculating the trade discount, we take it off the retail price of the product. That's what we're gonna pay. If we have to pay an additional $150, we could add it right down here, couldn't we? Because the freight does not factor into the chain discount. Okay? I did complicate it unnecessarily. Let me see if there's anything else here that you need to be aware of. Yeah, the question says it better than I did. Go figure. Okay? Okay. There are 2 or 3 questions that are they're really virtually identical.
I'm doing a different problem now.
Okay, let's do something else. Good. Let's see. We've already done that. Let's see. We've actually already done that. We've done all these. Oh, here's one.
Yay.
Do you remember the cookie exercise we did?
Yes.
And the breakage? There's a question similar to that. Would you like me to do one of those questions on the board? All right. Let's do one of those.
What does FOB stand for?
Freight on board. Freight on board, yeah. All right, so you are
Freight on board.
you're making
Cupcakes. Brownies. Pandas.
let's say brownies. That's for fun. You're making special peanut butter brownies.
Yummy.
Yummy. Special ones. You're making a batch of 200. I have no idea what you're talking about. 200. Okay? Let me say this. I don't want to screw this up. Each brownie is costing you 45 cents. That's the cost per brownie. Okay? You are going to lose, of these brownies, 15% of them will not be able to be sold. The edges, and they'll break off. You know this by experience. You know that some pieces will not be perfect. You don't want to sell them. So we're going to lose 15% of the brownies to loss. Okay? Yeah. That doesn't make any sense, does it?
No.
We are going to mark up these brownies 75% based on cost. Based on cost. How much do we have to sell the brownies for? That's the question. All right, what's the first step?
You put it in S equals C plus M, right?
Right.
Take 15% of 200.
What?
Would you take 15% of 200?
No, not yet. Here's what we need to do. The first step is to figure out how much we have to sell them for. How much are we paying? How much does this batch of brownies cost us? 200 brownies times 45 cents each is going to cost us how much? $90. That's correct. That's our TC, total cost. Now let's put it into the equation of total sales equals total cost plus total markup. Our total cost is $90. Our total markup is 0.75 of 90. Is that right? Based on cost. Does this make sense, everybody? What is 75% of $90? $67.50 is right. So our total sales must be 90 plus $67.50 for a total of $157.50. That's our total sales. Notice I have not messed around at all with the 15% yet. This is where the 15% comes in. We're going to make a total of 200 brownies. We're going to lose 15%, so how many are we going to lose?
30.
30 brownies are going to be wasted. How many brownies are we going to have? 200 minus the 30 equals?
170.
We have 170. So therefore we have 170 brownies in order to make our $157.50 of revenue to maintain our profit margin. So, pretty straightforward. We're going to take $157.50 and divide it by 170. What does that work out to be? Each brownie we must charge for each brownie.
93 cents.
Is that what it works out to be? That's to the nearest penny? Everybody see that? Any questions about that type of problem? All right, now that's the kind of problem you're going to see on the test. You're not going to see one of these problems where what if we took the 30 brownies that were not perfect and we sold them at half price, or none of that kind of stuff, right?
Not like that.
Well, it's not that much harder. It does add a wrinkle to it. Any questions? That is the review. I have now reviewed the procedure for all 16 questions. All right? There are a couple of extra questions on here that are very similar to the ones we've already done. So I didn't do 16 examples, but I did 11 or 12 examples out of the 16 questions. Any questions? Okay, everybody say goodbye.
Bye-bye.